Hey everybody, welcome back to Random Rants with Brooklyn. I'm your host, Brooklyn. Today we have another special guest. Her name is Lily. Say hi, Lily.
Hi. Thank you
Today's
for
rant
having me.
topic, yeah, of course. Today's rant topic is going to be about age of succession. So let's jump into the rant for today. So, what is your opinion on it first, Lily?
Well, I think age definitely has a part to play, like legally, obviously, but
Yeah,
I think whether you're young or old, like you can still be successful either way.
yeah.
It's gonna look different in every single age that you are.
hmm I agree with you on that. I feel like for me, it definitely depends on what it's like doing. Like I feel like for actual business or careers, people are going to take you more seriously when you're older,
Mm-hmm.
but for
Mm-hmm.
like smaller things like your own like entrepreneurship or like
Mm-hmm.
if you created if you wrote a book or you did like we're doing a podcast or if you like started a website, people are going to be more inclined to support you when you're younger
Yeah.
than if you're older.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of more things like nowadays especially that allows us as younger people to be able to like be successful, start new things and like try new things, start new businesses, podcast books like you said. Like in that
Yeah.
area I feel like we have a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah. Because then people are more willing to support you because they're like, oh, you could like totally do that. Like,
Yeah.
I want to help you grow and be successful. I want to see what you can become.
Yeah, and like we're like unique, like oh, like you have such a good like passion and like I want to support that. Like especially older people who are successful in the same thing that we're trying to do, like we'll definitely support and like help with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And like the thing about like older people is like, I feel like I'm not trying to compare myself to any like authors, but
Mhm.
for me, when I get my book published, I feel like more people are willing to like support and like
Yeah.
read my book and buy it because they know I'm a 14-year-old author.
Mhm.
Whereas other people who are older people, they're like, oh, you're a young author.
Yeah.
Cool. But like if they're an older author, it's like, oh, it's just a book.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
they might not even like the topic, so they won't pick up the book. But
Yeah.
if I'm since I'm young, since I'm a teenager and I'm an author, people I feel like would be more inclined to read my book, even if they don't necessarily like the genre, just because I'm a young teen author.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it just makes you stand out and makes you unique cuz like a lot of people nowadays who are writing books are not your age. So the fact that you wrote a book at your age makes you unique and makes people want to like, buy, support, all that.
Yeah. And for you, like, you're in creative business, right?
Mhm.
So you understand, like, in the creative business, there's more people who are younger in the creative
Mhm.
business nowadays,
Yes.
but they're still not as young as us now. There's more
No.
people who are in their, like, 20s or, like, mid
Yes.
30s or, like, just turned 18 type of a thing in the world right now who
Mhm.
are content creators or creative people, photographers, videographers, authors, all those sort of people,
Mhm.
and they are rising. So when people find like hidden gems like us, when we're
Mhm.
actually starting something, they're like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Like just our
Yeah.
age and stuff
Mhm.
draws people to us.
Yeah. There's definitely like an advantage, also like a disadvantage because we also don't have as much resources. We don't have as much like time in the business or like knowledge
Or
about that.
legal, yeah, like legal stuff
Yeah,
that
like
we can
legal rights
help.
and stuff like that. Because as someone who's older, they have experience, they have like connections with other people. Like it's a little bit more of an advantage.
Yeah. The advantage of like being older, especially just in like our type of a creative business, is you do have more resources. You are able to actually have a real job. So like it's harder
Mhm.
to make money off of content creating because
Yes.
I have a YouTube channel, I have a podcast, I have an Apple podcast, I have all this
Mhm.
stuff, but I can't necessarily make that much money off of it until I grow
Yeah.
my channel. But people who, so that means I don't have much funding for mine. Where people who
Mhm.
are older, who are like 18 plus, they have they have a job. They can
Yeah.
consistently make money
Mhm.
and pay for other stuff as well as their own needs.
Yeah. feel like content creating is a thing that's like blown up so much, but it takes a lot of work, especially
It
starting
does.
from zero. Being young or being old, like it takes so much work and effort and time, and it's some people they just blow up and then they go from there. But a lot of people actually spent years and years and years put into content creating to get to the point where they actually make money off of it.
Yeah, like for me, I agree with you on that. But it's another thing is like the older you are, the more you can have content creating and not have to worry about it making money for you because
Yeah,
you can have a job. But for
that's what it
me,
is.
content creating is one of the only sources that I could have money flow from when I get
Mhm.
it to that point. And even that, it's not like a consistent amount of money,
Yeah.
and I don't necessarily need it right now. But if I do get to that point, that will probably be the only source of money I have at the time. So then
Yeah.
for people who are younger, all they have is that content creating because they can't go out and make money and like buy stuff for their content. Whereas people who have jobs and have content creating, they can buy the stuff for their content creating and still
Hmm.
consistently have money for themselves.
Yeah. But what I think is like really good about being young is you don't have a lot of responsibilities as if you were
Yeah.
18. You literally have to make money. You have to pay rent. Like you have to do all those things. So if you like what where you are right now, you don't have to worry about like you can actually put a lot of time and a lot of effort because it's not like if it fails, you have to like
You don't have
survive.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you are under your parents' roof still, and then you can get all that going, and it's like, oh, that's an advantage, of course, because you don't have to depend on yourself to like provide.
Pay for the bills. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
be like worried about putting food on the table if a video
Right.
fails.
Yeah, right? Like you can just lock in and like try new things, fail, succeed, like all of that at this age. It's like a
Yeah.
lot easier.
And then another thing is for like older careers, like I was about to say librarian, I don't know why. I don't think they make that much money. How much money does a
Oh yeah,
librarian
no.
make?
It's not a lot. It's probably like a teacher or less.
Hang on. Like but yeah, teachers like younger teachers, like I have one of my teachers is like she's one of the youngest teachers in her school
Mhm.
and she's good at her job, but
Mhm.
unfortunately the boys in our class don't respect her, so she has to
Yeah,
reprimand them. But I feel like
that's
obviously, especially because of the school I go to, you need to have a good career. Like, you need to have a good, like,
mhm.
base thing going on.
Mhm. A good
And
flow of
then,
income.
yeah, go ahead if you want to add
Yeah,
anything.
I just yeah, like teachers and stuff, like they put so much time, like so much time, and it's like they almost don't have any time to do something else like content creating on
Yeah.
top of all that, and they're not making a lot. So it's like that would be a lot harder to work like a 9 to 5 and then like do content creating on top of that. Like that would be a lot to juggle.
Oh my gosh. I just looked it up, and a
Hmm.
librarian makes $62,000 apparently.
That's crazy.
I was like, it shouldn't be that bad.
I
No, that's
know.
a lot of money. I think it's because like it's a public library and they have like enough. They I
Yeah,
don't think it's.
the
I think it's
budget.
64,000 a year, not monthly. Because that
Mm.
would be even that's still a lot though.
Yeah,
But I think
that
that might
is.
just be like the library. I don't know if I looked that up right. But that shocked me when I saw that. I was
Yeah,
like,
that
what?
is. Yeah,
64,000? I should
that's
just
crazy.
quit my day life, go work as a
Right?
librarian.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you on that. Plus it's I feel like for older people when like especially for doctors, the older
Mhm.
you are, the more experienced you're going to be, which
Mhm.
means more people are going to come to you and if you're really good at your job, you will get make money. You will like be successful. And
Mhm.
like lawyers, doctors, all those with like super big degrees, the older you are, the more experienced you probably are,
Mhm.
which means
Mhm.
the more successful you'll probably be.
Right, because in that area, it's like definitely like I feel like a working up to a certain point. Like if you have X amount of experience, you could be here, and then you can get promotions and all of that, and you can keep on going up and up in your promotions, and that means more money. And if
Yeah.
you just work harder and longer, like you can get up to a place. Whereas like a librarian, you're not going anywhere. Like you're just kind of there, no matter how long
Yeah.
you've worked there. I mean, you can get a raise, but like as a doctor, you could definitely like go to a higher level and all that.
Yeah. Plus, especially because to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be those types of people, you have to have a degree. You have
Mhm.
to have, like, for a lawyer, you have to have a law school degree, I think.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. But for a doctor, you need a medical degree, which is a long time of medical school.
Yeah.
Which is a long time of medical school. And there's constant hard work being put into being in the medical field, being in the law
Oh yeah.
field, and all that sort of stuff. So the older you are, people probably automatically assume, oh, you're very experienced in this.
Mhm. Yeah, and they trust you a lot more with probably a lot bigger, probably a lot more high paid stuff. So,
Yeah, like more risk involved because they feel you're experienced because of your age. Like younger people are less likely to get a more risky, more like experience needing job
yeah.
because they're
Right.
younger.
Yeah, because they don't have the experience, the time, like all of that that older people have.
Yeah. And I feel like for that there's also a like for first responders, the older
Hmm.
you are, it can factor. I feel like there's a nice middle ground of like
Yeah.
if you're in that nice middle ground age, people assume you're old enough to know what you're doing and very experienced and trust you, but you're young enough still that they feel like you can be quick, you can do this, do
Yeah.
this, do this, and do multiple things at once. But oh, did that mess with my mic? My mic, I accidentally jostled around my mic. Hopefully that didn't get in there. Hang on. But yeah, like I feel like it definitely is something that like helps with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because my uncle is a policeman and he like recently just got promoted because he's been in
Yeah.
the business so long. But he is still young, but he just got promoted and like yeah, just because of his experience and all that.
Mhm. I feel like for those sort of jobs, it definitely depends on not only where you are, but who you're surrounded with.
Mhm.
Like, if
Yeah.
I feel like it also affects the environment around you. If you're younger, people are less likely to treat you with respect.
Mhm. Mhm.
Cause, like, for me, I know because, especially because I have been around people my age. And girls my age, maybe a little younger, that I'm friends with, all they want to talk about is boys and drama and makeup and all this sort of stuff.
Mhm.
And I can tolerate that, but I
Mhm.
do really enjoy a deep conversation with someone. I enjoy mature conversations. I am a
Yeah.
mature person. And that's another reason why I have senior friends. I have friends who are older than me. And when they talk to me, they find out they can have those sort of conversations with me and not have to worry about me acting immaturely or not
Mhm.
understanding what's going on.
Yeah. That's where I feel like age is just a number kind of comes into play because yes, you could compare and there is a huge difference in maturity. Like there just is. Like I see the way you are and I see the way that other girls are. So I feel like not writing someone off just because they're young or just because of their age because someone can be really really mature and like have a lot of knowledge and wisdom at their age than you would think.
Yeah. It's also into the factor where, like, if you're in a job and you work hard at your job,
Yeah.
you can climb the ladder faster than people
Yeah.
who are older than you because
Right.
they don't work hard.
Right. Yeah. Like we just had that like um locked in like I don't know. We can do a lot of things at one time because
Yeah,
we're
I
just
feel like
so
that
focused.
sort of applies to a lot of people. And yet people discount people who are younger because they think, "Oh no, we'll let the older people deal with it cuz they're
Hmm.
more mature. They know what they're doing."
Yeah.
And you have to prove yourself more, I feel like when you're younger or when
For
you're
sure.
new. But that's
Yeah.
how it works for everything. And I feel
Hmm.
like people are less likely to listen to you the younger you are because the
Yeah.
older you are, they're more like, oh, I'm willing to hear what you have to say because you're
Right.
probably more experienced. When you're younger, it's like, I'm less willing to hear what you have to say because you're probably less experienced.
Right. And I feel like that is like very valid. Like, yeah, we probably don't know as much as like other people do, but we're like we've probably experienced some different things that they haven't. So like, allowing people to ask you questions and then like being able to respond in a mature way is something that's like really looked up. Like people like that, especially if you're young and they can see that you can like do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I have I have to go. Um, but yeah, well, that's great. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming on Random Rants with
Yes.
Brooklyn. Thank you for listening to Random Rants with Brooklyn. I'm your host. Thank you for sparing your time and ears to Random Rants with Brooklyn. Hope you have you come back to listen again soon. If you have any suggestions for future rant requests or improvement ideas, let me know. Thanks and goodbye.